2 years ago, me and my husband loaded our car and left Spain, where we were living for 6 years. We took 16 hours to travel and we finally arrived to our new home, our little German town in Bavaria, Germany. We were full of excitement for a new adventure, but the reality of living in a small German town as foreigners hit us really hard. The insane German bureaucracy, difficulty to find friends, and the long grey winters. We took a while to feel settled down. But 2 years later, we're finally here. So yes, it's been 2 years since me and my husband moved to Germany, and I decided to make this updated version of just how life here in Germany is 2 years after the move. I've made the same video 3 months after my move, 6 months after my move, then 1 year after the move, and finally, yeah, here we are 2 years after moving to Germany. And well, this is actually the second time I'm recording this, because the first video I recorded yesterday was quite on a more positive side, and as I finished recording that video, I just had this feeling that something is wrong. Like, for some reason I wasn't satisfied with how that video turned out, and today I actually realized that I wasn't honest at all in my video yesterday. Yeah, as I said, that video was more on the positive side, and the truth is there are quite some things that I'm not really happy about while living in Germany. And I've had a lot of doubts about staying here on the long term. And you know, putting a video out there, I don't want to offend anyone. Usually when you kind of make a video complaining about the country that you are currently in and you're a foreigner, there is always comments from like local people who say like, oh, if you hate it so much, then why do you live here? Just go away, and things like that. And I realized that I was avoiding that, and I was not really portraying how I actually felt. So I decided to re-record it and be a little bit more honest, and whatever happens, happens. And please keep in mind that everything I'm sharing in this video, it is based on mostly my comparison of living in Spain before moving to Germany. I was living in Spain for 6 years, so I got a really good idea of what it is like to live in Spain. Basically, I all the time compare my life in Spain to my life in Germany, and where, you know, I like it more, which aspects I like more, where, and so on. So anyways, where do I start? Just thinking about me recording this video 1 year ago, like 1 year after the move, I definitely feel much more settled down now, 2 years after the move. I always say that the first year in the country, in a new country, is the hardest. It's just the first year was really hard. The move itself was really hard, and then settling down and finding an apartment. And so yeah, the first year was kind of still figuring it all out. And the second year, things have been definitely feeling much more settled down, and I have my little social circle, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more, about friends and just social situation in Germany. So yeah, when you already know your supermarket, when you know your doctor, now I have my daughter's pediatrician, and things like this, when you go to the gym, like where you go regularly, these are the things that help me to really settle down. To feel settled down, to feel more at home when I have like my own places, my favorite cafe or some stuff like that. That's what really makes me feel kind of home in my new town. And yeah, that's definitely been like really big improvement comparing to, you know, the first months, the first year of living here. We're living in a small town in Bavaria, so there's not too much to explore. So at this point, I pretty much know more or less everything that this town can give me. In terms of my level of German, I cannot really say that it has improved at all after a certain point, and it's definitely like gonna be different for everyone. For me, I don't use German at work. I probably won't. I feel like to work in Germany, you have to have a really high level of German, which I don't have. I don't feel like I have that level. I don't speak German at home. I don't have German friends. And so after a certain point, my German just gets, you know, stuck on the same level unless I proactively learn it. And I kind of struggled with that, but at some point I decided to just kind of let it go, because for me, for my German to improve, I need to like literally put effort every single day by just studying it at home, because again, I don't have practice in my everyday life. So in the end, what happens is I just learn for the sake of learning, like I don't actually use it. So the second that I stop like reading in German proactively, like I don't know, using the applications or watching a series in German, translating words and so on, like the second I stop doing that, my German just kind of goes down. And so it has been kind of up and down through this whole period of 2 years. My German definitely improved a lot when I got pregnant, and during that time I went to a lot of courses related to pregnancy and then baby courses and so on. And I was always the only one who was a foreigner, and the rest were German women. So yeah, I was really forced to use German then, and it was really difficult, to be honest, because being surrounded by German people when everyone speaks naturally, really fast, not clearly, also with a Bavarian accent, which is really strong here, it was really hard. But it definitely like kind of pushed me, and my German did improve. But then, you know, this course is finished and I kind of stopped having that regular contact with German people again, and so my German just kind of went down again. So yeah, that's kind of my German language situation, and I just decided to let it go because I have a lot of other commitments, I have a lot of other priorities in my life, and as I said, if I don't use German for work or anything like that, and I'm quite comfortable communicating in shops and in whatever, like small everyday situations, that's kind of enough for me. And if I feel like I'm not comfortable, if I don't have enough German level, then of course I will take some courses, study again and so on. But for now it is what it is. Just to give you an idea, I have more or less like B1 level, I would say. Hallo? Ja, hi.
Hallo, okay, ja, nächste Woche dann, ich denke Montag ist okay, dann Dienstag und Mittwoch nicht und dann Donnerstag, Freitag auch, ja.
Okay, nein, ich fühle das aus, ja. Ja, perfekt, danke.
Perfekt auch, danke schön.
Tschüss. Well, that was really convenient. I actually never get calls in German, but I just received a call from the daycare because my daughter is going to a daycare in a couple of weeks, so you actually couldn't hear me speak in German right now a little bit. But yeah, I have to say that in the daycare there is a lot of foreigners who also bring their kids there, so I think like the personnel of the daycare, they just speak so clearly and so well. I really understand them really well, comparing to like some other situations where people speak with a lot of accent. But anyways, yeah, where was I? So moving on to like friends and socializing area. Yeah, I think friends and socializing is something that a lot of people struggle with in Germany. I've struggled with this area of my life in general, like before moving to Germany. Yeah, when you move to a new country, you have to like make new connections from zero, and this is something that I've struggled with in Spain. And then moving here, I was like really prepared to make things happen because I realized that this is so important for my mental health, for my level of happiness. Just socializing and being with people, hanging out with people, so important. Like it makes a massive difference in my life. And so the first year it was quite hard. I actually did have a couple of friends that I already knew, you know, from before moving to Germany, but they were not living in my town. And I spent more than a year, maybe 1.5 years, that I didn't know absolutely anyone like closely in our German town. I was working from home. I didn't have any colleagues or anything like that in my town from work. And then like making friends in Germany, unless you have colleagues, it's so difficult. And this is something that I've heard so many people say, that even for German people, you know, it's really difficult to make friends when you're adult. But combine that with like not being able to speak the language properly, and it just becomes this really huge struggle. And as I mentioned before, I got pregnant and I started to go to all these courses during that time with only German people. And I had this idea, and keep in mind it was like, oh, women, you know, youngish women like me. So I had this idea that I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make friends 100%, like for sure I'm gonna make friends there, and that's it, I will have friends in my actual town. And let me tell you, it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen at all. I really pushed myself. It was really, really hard to speak and to kind of participate in conversations with Germans. And many times I just felt really left out, and I just couldn't catch up with conversations. But I still kind of pushed myself, and I made myself even try to talk to people in German and so on. And I even got like kind of closer with a couple of people from those courses, and after a while it just still didn't really lead to anything, to any sort of like connection and friendship. And a huge part of that is of course the language, but also like I'm a foreigner and I just didn't really have much in common with people from here. And after a while I just also decided to let go of this idea that I have to become friends with Germans, that's the only way to find people, to find friends. And as soon as I kind of let go of that idea, I actually reached out to some people and found Russian-speaking friends. And yeah, it's definitely like so much easier to connect with somebody from your culture, or even not necessarily from yours, but with other foreigners, other expats that are living in your location, because they just know the struggle of living in this new country, and that's like a huge thing that you already have in common. So, and yeah, I decided that even though I don't have like local friends, I'm not friends with anyone from here, some people, you know, can make an argument that like I'm not making an effort to integrate, and that foreigners always, you know, stay with their own circles and so on. But I decided that it's better to have friends like this and people to hang out with, even if they are not from here, even if they're not Germans, than to not have anyone at all. Yeah, finding friends in Germany is definitely really, really hard. And I've heard a lot of people say that. So if you're also living in Germany and you're also kind of struggle with finding people, with making friends, I feel you. I definitely feel you. I've been there. I've been there when I moved to Spain. I've been here now. And yeah, it's just hard. And yeah, moving to more like things that really bother me in Germany, more negatives that I mentioned, things that really make me doubt whether I want to stay here on the long term. There's a few things. One of the big things that I realized in Germany that I didn't really think before, it's kind of the lack of activities and things to do here. And not just lack of activity, I don't know where is the chicken and the eggs here, but whether it's people don't actually go out much and they just prefer to, you know, it's like a really kind of closed culture where people don't go out that much. Everything closes really, really early. There is a lack of eating out culture like it is in Spain, for example. And all that leads to like people spend a lot of times at homes. People spend, I don't even know, to be honest, what people are doing, but many times like it's just so empty on the street. And like summer is quite active. People really go out and do a lot of stuff outside while the weather allows. But then autumn comes, winter comes, and it's like a lot of months of just nothing going on, and it's really, really boring. And I really thought that I was a person who was a really, really homey, like I just don't really need much stuff, and I just like to be at home and do, you know, be cozy and so on. And kind of that's why I kind of moved to Germany, because I had that idea. And maybe there might be a certain balance with that, but I'm definitely lacking a lot of socializing and just going out and eating out and just doing things outside of home. And yeah, a part of that is that the food here sucks. There's no other way to say it. If you're living in a big city, you don't really realize it because you have plenty of places to eat, but in small German town, the diet here is horrible. Like, I'm not going to try to romanticize it because it is really, really bad. In 90% of the places in our German town, all you can get is fries with sausage or schnitzel. Like, literally, there is nothing else. Even when the weather is nice and they put some like tables outside and you just want to go out and, you know, eat outside, like, we barely do that because there is only two types of things that you can do on these summer terraces. One is drink a beer and another one is drink a coffee or eat an ice cream. So basically ice cafe, and that's it. And it's not about the food, right? I think it's the culture that that is missing this whole huge area of life. Maybe again, this is a huge contrast for me because we were living in Spain before, and in Spain this is like the main thing that you do. You go out to eat all the time. You live on the street, you eat out all the time, you socialize with people like all the time, and this just doesn't exist here. At least it's so minimal comparing to Spain. And I miss that. I definitely miss that a lot. And it just feels sometimes that we have to make a lot of effort to get out of the house because you have to have a certain plan. It's like, it's not casual, if that makes sense. You don't just spontaneously go out and drink something, eat something, meet with somebody. It's just like, it's missing here. And I think that because of that as well, it's so hard to make friends and kind of build connections because it feels people are very individualistic here. They live in their homes. Families are usually just spending time with their family. So yeah, that's one of the things that really makes me doubt, because I think it's a quality of life. What makes life good? It's the people, just meeting with people, eating together, like hanging out on whether it's holidays or just a Saturday evening. Here it's not really that expressed, if that makes sense. Another thing that really disappointed me in Germany is, I didn't realize it, but I had this idea about a certain salary level in Germany, and the reality just didn't really meet my expectations. The salaries here are definitely higher than they are in Spain, for example, but the taxes are so much higher as well, and the salaries are not so much higher. So yeah, this has been something that really I realized how good I had it in Spain, because I was actually a freelancer in Spain, and it seemed back then that I was paying a lot of taxes, because actually in Spain everyone is like complaining about the tax for freelancers. But oh my god, now that I moved to Germany, I realized how good it was, because the tax there was really low comparing to Germany, and the price level in shops and supermarkets, everything was cheaper. So actually I had a much better kind of financial situation when I was living in Spain, even though in Spain salaries are lower, but then you could afford much more with those salaries than like I can afford here in Germany with all the taxes that you're paying here, and the prices for services, for transport and so on. So yeah, that's another thing, that's a massive thing that I kind of didn't really expect to be this way. Wow, this video is gonna be massive, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. Just to not stay on the negative side, I want to mention a couple of things that I'm still really grateful in Germany. And basically I think about three things here. It's weather, safety, and cleanliness. This summer we actually went to visit family in Spain for 3 weeks, and I just remembered that yeah, these specific three things, it can be good, you know, everyone thinks the weather in Spain is amazing, but like it's the middle of October right now, and they still have summer heat, and when you have so many months of this really hot weather, it just gets absolutely exhausting. And it's really hot in August that you just cannot kind of function properly. So yeah, in moments like this, I definitely really appreciate German weather, because there is quite a good balance of rainy and sunny days, I would say. It makes the nature stunning here, and so yeah, I'm quite happy about that. And then yeah, safety. Again, being in Spain, I just remembered that Like, crime situation in Spain is much worse than in Germany in general, and I just remembered that I didn't really feel as safe in Spain as I do feel in Germany. Like, I feel completely safe in Germany. That's a huge plus for this country, especially now that I have a daughter. It's like, yeah, another thing that makes me appreciate it living here. And yeah, cleanliness is it's just what it is. Like, again, staying in Spain for some weeks, I just remembered that the whole summer heat, and especially big cities, they're just much more dirty than German cities. And here it's just like, environment is much more fresh and clean. So yeah, that's definitely a plus as well. But anyways, this video is gonna be huge and I'm gonna wrap it up. Please let me know in the comments what you think about all of these things that I mentioned. Do you agree with some of the negatives that I mentioned? And if you didn't, let me know what your thoughts are. It's okay to have completely different opinions on things, and yeah, this is all just my opinion, of course. I really don't know if we're gonna stay in Germany for long term or not. For now, this is where we are, and I'm just going to try to build my life in a way that makes me feel better, makes me happy while we're here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.